Let's take a look at some introductory vocabulary so we can label our data. First thing we're going to look at is individuals. They are the items or subjects that are under study. So people are typically the individuals in most studies, and those are called subjects when it's people. Otherwise, books or trees, any noun is an individual. Variables are characteristics. So let's say you're studying people, then you might want to know what characteristics they have, such as what is their hair color, what is their name, what is their gender, how tall are they, things like that. Those are the variables. Quantitative variables, if we want to get more specific about our variables, have a numerical value. So how many siblings do you have? There's a number. How far can you throw a baseball? There's a number. 1 to 10 rating, there's a number, things like that. And again, height, like I mentioned before. Categorical variables are where you have a set of categories, a set of choices that you get to pick from. So let's say, what color is your hair? There's many possible combinations, but if we were to lump it into standard categories, we might say brown, blonde, black, red, and a couple others. And you would have to choose one of those. You pick one of the categories. That's what makes it a categorical variable, unlike a quantitative one where it's a number. So let's take a look here. Let's try to distinguish individuals from variables. The biggest thing we're looking for is noun versus adjective. If it describes something, it's probably a variable. If it is something, it's probably an individual. So height. Height is used to describe people. That's a variable. Student. A student is a person, a noun, so that'll be an individual. A kitty. Kitties could be under study. They would be an individual. Hair color. Hair color would describe the student or the kitty, so that's a variable. Person is a noun. A book is a noun. DVD player, interesting thing to put under study, but it is an individual. Favorite number. That would be something that describes the person. What is the person's favorite number? So that is a variable. Rating of the lunch food. How good they think it is. It's a variable. Classroom. If you think of a classroom as a noun, it would be an individual. However, if you are studying a student and you say, what classroom are you in? That might be a variable. So this is one that, depending on how it's used in the given situation, might go either way. Now let's compare categorical and quantitative variables. We'll start out with gender. Gender is typically described as male or female, so then we would call that categorical because there are two options to choose from. Age. There's no options for age. You just are however many years old you are, and that is a number, so that's going to be quantitative, quantity. Income is a quantity. It's a number. It's how much money you make each year. Now, tax bracket, we'll talk about that. It's kind of a variation on income. Number of pets. It's a number. Quantitative. Hair color. Not a number. One of so many choices, so that's categorical. Favorite band. There's many choices, many possible categories that you could choose from, but it's not a number, so it is categorical. Now, tax bracket, this is related to how much income you make. If you make under a certain number, you're in one tax bracket, between other numbers and a different tax bracket, and so forth. So even though it is relating to your income, which is a number, a quantity, the bracket, there's only so many brackets, so many choices, and you fit into one of those bins. So that's going to actually be categorical. So we'll see examples of things like that later, and we'll actually use that principle of breaking up numbers into separate bins in order to help us graph things like histograms later. And then finally, college major is not a number. It is one of several options you could choose from, so that is categorical.